All right, hello everybody. My name is Michael Hoppy. I'm the creative director at Geopogo. We are a San Francisco-based geospatial company, and what I'm going to be talking to you about today is a game we released called Geopogo Cities. So who here remembers SimCity? Who played SimCity as a kid? Yeah, come on. I know we all did. And of course, who dreamt that we could just play SimCity on top of our own hometown or our favorite city in the real world? Yeah, I mean, I did. So that's what we ultimately built out for everybody. You can scan the QR code for more information or to connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can email me as well. So SimCity for real cities. It was an incredibly fun endeavor. We released it for Steam and the Epic Game Store, and of course people are playing it, downloading it, and the team's constantly building it. It was a great way to get my development team on Unreal Engine to think about how to make city editing tools in a fun and creative way, and not so much in a very pragmatic enterprise way, which gave them a lot of freedom and flexibility. So of course, here it is on the Epic Game Store. You can search for it. So let's have some fun. There we go. Okay, so that of course was the release video. We were really excited. We're kind of fulfilling childhood dreams, and so the team got to work right after we ultimately launched it. So this is the application here. You can go in and you can pick from a preset of cities around the world, everything from New York to San Francisco or Tokyo, and of course it's loading the Cesium Google Maps 3D tiles. We went in and gave them those options, and then for enterprise users, they can go ahead and just load any data they wish from around the world. We gave users the ability, of course, to load in different data sets. So of course, you have the Google Maps 3D tiles, but then there's also OSM data, and there's also different map styles that they can load in as well while they're playing and editing and adjusting their city. As you translate back to enterprise, and of course for architects and other people, they like to pick different visual graphic styles, whether it's Google Maps data or OSM data. This was a fun one in real time, the ability to delete existing buildings. So we went here and we used the Cesium polyraster tools, and we made them for runtime. And of course, our team made this really clever way to go ahead and delete only areas that you want to delete. And then of course it creates a really nice little dirt patch there that you can start ultimately building upon. And it's not just limited to small buildings. You can delete the entire downtown, maybe the whole city if you wish, or very minor little details that you may want to ultimately do. We were looking into computer vision tools to ultimately go ahead and just identify individual buildings and delete those as well. And we might get there very quickly. Of course, it wouldn't be SimCity without the ability to place buildings all across the city. So we preloaded it with a whole library of building design assets: skyscrapers, schools, hospitals, churches, windmills, you name it. We pretty much put in every single type of city building tool available for them to go and place and edit the city. And of course, you can place buildings, delete buildings, modify and transform them, make them taller if you wish, change them around. It's a very sandbox style editor, and maybe one day we'll enable it where we have all the zoning maps and you could actually simulate the environment in real time. This is new. So this, Ian on our team, he just got this out last night. We're putting these slides together. Of course, you can place buildings we've given you, or from a more BIM perspective, you can go ahead and use procedural design tools to build buildings as well. So here he is cropping out this particular site. He chose grass as his base layer. And then watch this. It's beta, but by like next week, it's going to be really nice. You can go in, create your shape, whatever you want. And then watch this. I love it. He's going to click generate, and it's going to make a building for us. Hold on. Come on, Ian. He's almost there. Ta-da. There it is. And there's our building it designed. And you can adjust the number of floors. You can adjust the height. And as he builds the tool, it's procedural, so that we're going to have windows and doors. You can pick what kind of curtain wall skins you want. Pretty much anything to create and express any type of building design vision, all within the game. Another fun one the team's been building out is the ability to place foliage. Trees, bushes, grass, you name it. Any type of trees, and hundreds to thousands of them. I know we saw that in one of the last presentations. These are really fun tools. And of course, we're crazy about it. We would love to see people reforest entire cities one day, maybe in the late 2030s or 40s. Hopefully something like this happens. But from a more practical point of view, people just like to decorate empty lots or go ahead and place trees everywhere, all over the city. Another one the team's working on is the ability to place cars within the city setting. So the Cesium data on its own it's flat, static data. And of course, the dream of everybody is to bring the data to life. You want to bring the cities to life, and you want to bring cars, you want to bring traffic into the cities. There's a couple ways that we were looking at doing it, but if you placed vehicles on every single city street and highway, that'd probably blow the computer apart. It couldn't handle it right now. So instead, we were like, let's give them tools so that they can go ahead and just place cars and traffic wherever they wish, and then they can max out their GPU on their own. You have to. Another fun one, time of day, night cycles. One day we will get the city lights to turn on. As you know, with the Google Maps API data, once you go nighttime, that's it. But we've been experimenting with little tools to ultimately turn on the building lights, and that will happen. The team also put in weather effects, so clouds, fog, volumetric fog. You can make the scenes quite dramatic if you wish. And we're even going to be looking into weather effects, so rain, snow, thunder, maybe even some natural disaster type effects. We all remember SimCity had the tornadoes. Maybe we'll throw that in here as well and cause a little bit of damage and chaos. And one of the final ones, of course, is the ability to explore. We needed to give users the ability to very quickly move fast through cities. Cities are large. If you go to LA, for example, this thing is absolutely massive, this city, and you need to be able to move through it as quickly as possible. But then also, when you zoom in on street detail, be able to slow that camera down so that you can get your own detail and move very slowly. We also threw in a bunch of different actors so that they can drive around the city, walk around the city. You think Grand Theft Auto type stuff. And then here's the best part. So rendering and animating. So when we released Geopogo Cities, the game, on Steam and the Epic Games Store, of course, architects were like, hey, what's going on here? We want to see this too. We want to see what's going on. And they asked us, can we import our 3D design models from BIM? So Revit, SketchUp, and the answer is of course. You can import them in as JLB models or Datasmith models. Then they asked us, well, we love these workflows. We want to render as well. And we discovered something, and I think it was shown here by a lot of companies as well. Who here has used AI image generation? Who here has figured out that you can, of course, take a screenshot from Google Earth, bring it into OpenAI, type in the prompt, and have it ultimately upscale or absolutely enhance the scene? Oh yeah, that's a good one. That was a fun one. The Google Maps API data, we all love it, but at Street View, it's all convoluted. And we're going to wait a very long time before Google decides to make it better for us. So we, of course, found an elegant solution for that. And everyone's going to be battling over which AI APIs they end up using to achieve the best and desired results. So for example, here's the building model that we imported from SketchUp. The building's dropped in. We're in San Francisco. The client wants to see the view from the balcony because that's what they want to show off as they're selling their design vision. We, in the program, select the rendering. We type in the prompt. I truly believe rendering is going to become prompt-based moving forward, or at least you would select prompt nodes for what kind of rendering you want. It generates the image, and then voila. I mean, all we did in that prompt was we said, add outdoor furniture, add a fireplace in the middle, add people sitting around it celebrating, add PBR materials. In your prompt engineering, tell it to add PBR materials with reflective, normal, specular maps, volumetric lighting, and re-render the existing city scene as per Google Maps 2025 with the city. If there's any landmarks in your scene, tell it that. Tell it for San Francisco, the Transamerica Pyramid, the Salesforce Tower. It has that information of what these buildings look like in their servers, and so it'll do a great job of rendering that in the background. And pro tip, it really likes it if you ask for fine, up-close detail. Tell it to do things like add reflection to the floor or add cracks in the concrete. It loves that. It will re-render quite beautifully if you give it up-close detail. And then, of course, we put into the platform the ability for animating. So you create your renderings, create your animations, and in the animations, less is more. Simply just put animate the scene, unless there's some type of specificity you want from the camera to pan through the city maybe, go up, go down, pan right, pan left, and it's able to go ahead and render out that scene quite beautifully. And that is something we know that as we've rendered in things like Sequencer or used a lot of animation tools, you were either spending a lot of time setting up the scenes, or you were ultimately waiting hours for that scene to render out, and AI can do it in 30 seconds or less. So here's some scenes that are rendered from the platform as either gamers or architects are using it. And of course, we're inviting gamers to come in, and they're using Geopogo Cities, the game, to go and reimagine their cities, and architects as well, of course, because they're seeing gamers do it and they want to jump in and have a lot of fun. But the AI is also doing things that we never could have ever achieved in visualization before, or it would just have taken an exceptional amount of time to achieve. The amount of assets you would need to produce a scene like this within the Unreal Editor or Lumion or any of these 3D rendering programs would just be, it would take a very long time to assemble. So with that, we have a little sneak peek. So we like to have fun. We have a very young team of Unreal Engine developers, so we built the game, we upgrade the game, architects buy the enterprise professional version from us, and then we sit around and we go, well, what other fun games could we make with geospatial data? You could think things like SimCopter, if anybody remembers SimCopter. It was a helicopter flying game through SimCity, super fun, or racing games based on real spaces in the world. And so here's a fun one through Detroit, because we happen to have a lot of game assets from Detroit. And this is built on Unreal Engine 5. So there's San Francisco. Detroit was the last one. There's the Ambassador Bridge. There you go, that's a beautiful one. So that's from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, looking towards Detroit. Super. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with tiles, not just, of course, on the enterprise side like we've seen today, but you can also make a lot of good money making games that are based on real-world locations, whether it's SimCity, racing games, or even Grand Theft Auto style games. Reach out to me, we can chat, and definitely have fun. Thank you.